been wanting to do this video for quite a while, ever since marathoning all the Predator films earlier this year, in order to be prepared to watch Killer of Killers and Badlands. I think it's safe to say that I'm a Predator fanboy. Well, for the films at least. I haven't watched anything else or interacted with any other Predator sort of media, just mainly the films. Yeah. These films are great. Half of them are great. If you had to ask me if any horror franchise is in safe hands in the future, my money would go to Scream. No, really. It'll go to Predator. Dan Trachtenberg hasn't failed me yet with any of his 3 films, and I'm hoping for something truly great to come out in soon enough. And you bet I'll be there to eat it up. But for now, let's cap up this year with my first big video, being a ranking video. Because I like ranking things, and I like numbers, and I like to watch numbers of the views going up. Not just on my own. Let's rank these films, shall we? Disclaimer before we start, let me preface that saying that firsthand, both Alien vs Predator films are on this list, but none of the just Alien films are on this. Because whilst they are technically crossover films, it still focuses on the Predators as, well, the more good of the two, even though it's just about 2 bad guy aliens fighting each other and all that. Yeah, but really, the outro are the heroes in this ones, and that just makes me happy. Yeah, I'm team Yautro all the way. That's probably because I've only watched the Predator films, but I feel like if I watch the Alien films, I'd probably still be team Yautro. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, honestly, thinking about it now, I think that should be the major team question we should be answering. Who we're going to be siding on. Forget Team Gale versus Team Peter for Hunger Games, because there's only one clear answer for that one. It's Team Peter all the way. There was never even a competition. Yeah, it should be which team you'd be rooting for. Team Xenomorph or Team Alien or Team Yautja. Because I'm on Team Yautja all the way. I probably sound like I'm a Team Gale sort of guy, but I'm not. Team Peter all the way. Never Gale. Final thing, when I eventually marathon all the Alien films, I'll do the same thing with including both AVP films on that list, so it's fair. With that being said, on to the ranking. Number 9, Alien vs Predator, Requiem. Out of all the films on this list, this is the only one I can comfortably say I did not like. I've seen my share of dumb movies, but I always seem to enjoy them in the end. This one, no. The main problem is that I just can't see. I can't see anything. It's just way too dark. The lighting is too dark, which deters my enjoyment of this film by a lot. And I can't see any of the cool-ass Predator stuff, especially the genius concept of the Predalien. Such a cool concept, which just gets wasted by how awful the story is and how weak the writing is and how dumbed down the entire film feels, and with one of the most laziest attempts of a sequel bait I've ever seen. Also, it's too fucking dark. So there's that. Unlike the first Alien vs Predator film, where the characters were just there to be added to the dead meat's kill count, but they had some minor elements that made them interesting at least, making it seem like you could care about them beyond superficially. These characters were just there to be added to a kill count, or just to move the plot along. They had nothing going for them outside of the superficial things. They have no substance aside from the basics. They could all be summarized by their stereotypes, which I don't usually mind, but in this one it just annoyed me. And they just seemed like the writers didn't want to put time into them, because that's not what we came here for. We came here for the Xenomorphs fighting the Yautja, and then the Predalien comes into this, and you can't see the cool-ass design that they did. I only saw the design during behind-the-scenes thing when I watched Dead Meat's Kill Count video. That's the only time I could actually see a proper look on the Predalien. Yes, we came here to see the Alien vs Predator that was promised in the title. But films like Godzilla Minus One proves that you can have both. The iconic face of the franchise whilst having an incredibly powerful and well-written story with such interesting and layered characters. I wish we got that for these films, especially this film, because there is there is something there that is to be compelling. There is something there, but the film never takes its time to flesh them out. Also, it's too dark. It's too dark. I think I'm starting to gain night vision. Yeah. The practical effects are still in its full force, and they look really cool. The Predator I was still rooting for, and the Xenomorphs are still cool as hell. And the actors seem to have an overall alright time, especially Tom Woodruff Jr. and Ian White in their Predator, Xenomorph, and Predalien get-ups. Overall, whilst this could have been great, it's just not. And unlike the first Alien vs. Predator film, where the best parts are the Alien vs. Predator, the only good parts in this, aside from small moments during a few scenes, are the Alien vs. Predator. Now we're Predalien. And even then, it's not great because of the lighting. Also, can you turn the lights on in here? I can't see for hell. I can't see for shit. Number 8, The Predator. So apparently this one is terrible. I mean, I just found it mildly amusing whilst just waiting for it to be over by the time the 4th subplot was introduced. I couldn't give a damn to hate this. It's not anything special, but it's absolutely not a good film, not by a long shot. It's sloppy, it's boring, it's poorly paced, and the writing fell off most of the times, and it feels offensive at times. Yet at the same time, I can't place why. Probably because I don't easily get offended by stuff that would be considered a hot button issue. I mean, it has some cool-ass Predator shit going on, and the cast is more interesting than the cast of Requiem, so there's that. But they, much like every other bad Predator film, are just there to get killed off. The plot is a whole bunch of this happens because why not, this happens because of course, and this happens because I said so. Also, it's filled with plot holes like the hybrid Predator kills people during the first act, and the plot says he's here to give a gift to humanity. Fix your script, guys. I mean, the cast is fine. They didn't hinder my enjoyment of what little there was, but it really should have been better than not. Though the best scenes are obviously when the Predator shows up. Some raw shit happens, you guys. Some raw shit. When the Giga Predator just bites the soldiers' heads off in the trees, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen in any of these films. Add to the terrific lighting that elevates the whole thing. Also, I don't know how to feel about the way this film portrays autism, and that's saying a lot, because considering the fact that I myself have Asperger's, which is a form of autism, is a version of autism. Yeah. So I can say whether or not this is offensive, and I don't know if it is, because it doesn't do anything that hurts me personally. Maybe because I don't get offended by stuff like this that easily, and when I do, it's few and far between. But then it says stuff like autism is the next step in the evolutionary chain, and I genuinely don't know if that's supposed to be rude or offensive to autistic people, or if that's supposed to be a compliment. Someone please tell me how you felt about this portrayal of autism. I don't care if you have it or not, I just want your opinions on this. This is longer than I intended to talk about, but I felt like I needed to talk about this aspect of the film. Like I said, I have Asperger's. I might as well just mention that. I mean, I guess that's just more interesting than watching the film again, I guess. Overall, it's not the worst Predator film, though it is the worst standalone Predator film, because AVP Requiem, that's a crossover. Yeah. Again, that honor proudly goes to AVP Requiem. But there is so much clashing into this that it just creates a mess of things that it just didn't work. Number 7, Predators. being a standard film with cool predator actions, it, it's nothing to sneeze at, I guess. I mean, it's fine, nothing groundbreaking. It retreads multiple steps from the first Predator, but it is done in a unique way to give this film its own identity, at least. I like the idea that everyone of the cast were predators themselves, in which leads to them becoming the prey to the iconic predators. I mean, I did find that interesting, but it's just not well developed, I guess. The cast is solid, definitely feels like they're trying to survive this nightmare purgatory. They all have interesting quirks that makes them interesting. I was impressed by the Topher Grace twist. Definitely gives me a surprise and explains why he's here. Yeah. The Yakuza dude was cool. He had the most interesting personality whilst only saying one full sentence at least. But really, it felt like the writers kind of wrote themselves into a corner when setting this entire story on a distant planet with no indecisive way of escaping this wretched place, only having it so that they have to survive or they'll die. It doesn't really feel that satisfying when compared to Dutch in the first film, where it was a lot more going towards it about how he was sent to kill a bunch of Guatemalan people, only to realize that a lot of them were innocent civilians or survivors. Well, I need to check all that plot. I'm just trying to remember everything that I remember from the first film, and I did watch it. Yeah, but there was a lot more going for Dutch's character instead of just surviving. I mean, there was a clear goal in the end. He had to. They were all trying to return to the chopper with with a prisoner, I guess. But here, there's no clear end goal. Just survive. That's not really that interesting. I mean, it's not like a zombie apocalypse storyline where they're actively trying to fight to survive. To survive, we know what's going on, and whilst there's not really any clear goal at the end for those films, it it is a lot more interesting, and there is something to latch on to. This one, there's not really any goal in the end until about halfway through, where they discover from a previous survivor that there is an escape, which was probably a massive coincidence or massive convenience. Yeah, it doesn't really feel satisfying at all. Mm. I mean, out of all the ones, this is the one I feel the most mid about, despite it being in seventh. Everything else has something that I enjoy about, aside from the two underneath. Whether it be in minor or just that it's great. But here, I can't narrow anything down that I can truly say it made me enjoy it. I'll probably check it out again in maybe 4 years down the line, if I ever feel like marathoning this franchise again, which would be likely, but apart from that, I have no desire revisiting this. Though the Predators are still cool as ever. Overall, not much to write home about, but much better than Requiem. So there's that. Number 6, Predator 2. With being a supposed letdown after the first, it's a ton of fun and has the enjoyment one would get from the first. It's not great, neither does it flow as well than the first. Also, it feels like it's dragging a lot more so than the first, but it has the Predator action you would love to watch. And quite frankly, I would call this a more guilty pleasure, even though I feel a bit tired halfway through, I guess. But yeah, it's not a bad film, not by a long shot. I thought it was very entertaining, and it was very interesting seeing a Predator in the city instead of a jungle. So that's interesting. So that is interesting enough. And again, the Predator scenes are just incredibly cool to see. But there's not really much going towards it aside from the decent characters and the Predator scenes and the really good practical effects on not only the Yautja but also the action scenes and all that. I thought that was interesting. The cast isn't that interesting in compared to the first, but they have their strengths and make them interesting. Danny Glover does his best, yeah, and Kevin Peter Hall returns as the frightening beast of the Yautja himself, the city predator. I think, to be honest, I think the entire film can be summed up as more Predator, more actions, more gun, more shit happens. And more doesn't always mean better, but it also doesn't mean it's bad. This wasn't bad at all. I think whilst the plot is tied together with strings instead of rope, it excels with the quips and the face-based insane comedic timing that's present. I find it to be an entertaining film to watch, despite it not being the best made film. I couldn't find a reason to hate this, so I'm glad to have liked this. Even if I'm not watching this again anytime soon. Again, I'll probably just marathon this about 40 years down the line if I feel like it, but you wouldn't find me watching this anytime soon. Overall, it's a fun film that's just a weaker version of the first. Number 5, Prey. This is the very first Predator film I watched, back when it first released, and I got to say, I was hooked back then. The production design is top notch, and the directing done by the ever impressive Dan Trachtenberg really sold me that this franchise was making a comeback. It's a very good film and has so much merit for bringing back this franchise in a compelling way. Dan Trachtenberg is really bringing this franchise to a level it should have been from the start. It's it's great and nothing less. And the cast is solid and brings so much nuance and character not previously seen since the original. But you and don't hate me, I can't seem to like it as much as everyone else does. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this. I loved this when it first came out, but after years of reflecting and all that, and 2 rewatches, yeah, it felt a bit formulaic at times, considering the many girl boss protagonist films we got from the past 5 years or so, which this film is not. It's not. The main character is not insufferable, so there's that. But I just felt a bit tired watching the same trope, and I kind of wish there was a lot more going on with her character. But I think she's the best girl boss protagonist. I mean, she does care about people. She wants to do good. And she loves animals. So there's that. Hmm. Yeah. At times, and this is probably in media nowadays, rotting my brain. It just feels like a repeat of strong female protagonists we've been getting for a while now. Only done in a way that doesn't make us hate the main character, like I said. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The main girl Naru isn't an unlikable twat, nor does she lack empathy, or even if this film is bad. It's not by a long shot. But I kind of wish there was more going on to her than just wanting to be a hunter. Maybe having her embrace her feminine qualities would be the reason why she was able to defeat the predator. For the rest of the men who was fighting back, they used their aggressive instincts and their smarts that only the men could have. But the fact that she's a woman who is usually more looked down upon, not just by her peers and the men in her tribe, but also the predator. The fact that she's smaller than everyone. I think maybe truly embracing with more of those feminine qualities than just being a master at herbology and medicine and all that could really give us a reason why she defeated the predator. I mean, again, mastering herbology and medicine and all that, that's a feat that you should never diminish. I mean, she's the reason why so many of them survived for longer before they actually got killed off. And I really like that. And I really like that. Yeah. But still, it feels like this movie played its... But also, it felt like this movie played it safe at times and became too predictable. Like when Naru fell into the marsh pit, I instantly knew that was coming back in the final battle. Or the knife she used was going to be important. Stuff like that. I'm definitely not part of the people who would call her insufferable. She's very endearing, and I really like her. But stuff like because you think I can't, felt a bit too on the nose for me. Though I'm definitely in the minority at that point. And again, brain rot. Probably brain rot and all that. But still. But still, I didn't wish for more from her, but I did really like her. But at the same time, I was more interested in her brother Tabe. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. And the dynamic Naru had with him, they just hurt. And I was sad when he died. I was more interested in the settlers, especially the ones who could speak Native American languages. I mean, Naru lacked some personality to make me invested in her. She felt a bit too stoic at times, and it was mostly just her at the bare minimum with, and besides from the bare minimum with some bonus features added onto it. Yeah. Again, Naru is a really well-made character though. She's resourceful, she's smart, and has a good relationship with her brother. And I like the ending where she proves herself by killing the predator, so I like that. The best scenes, and practically the only way this film would attract attention from the general audience, is every time the predator comes on screen. He's sinister, he's scary, and every time he kills someone just makes me shiver. And the final battle makes the whole viewing experience worth watching. This predator is actually scary again, and it is as cool and terrifying as always. Much more so than in the OG. He's a fully fledged horror movie monster, and you feel the dread that's creeping up the main character's spines, and the kills are so cool. And it's just some good commentary has some good commentary and themes on display. And the actions and the visuals are incredibly impressive. Overall, again, I don't hate this film. I really like this, and I know a lot of people would consider this their favorite Predator film, or their favorite of the Dan Trachtenberg films, but it's my least favorite of the Dan Trachtenberg films, and I'd only put this right in the middle of all the Predator films, including the AVP films. Again, don't hate it, just don't love it as much as everyone else does. Number 4, Predator. And here we have the one that started it all. And I got to say, it's a really great film. But I don't love it as much as others will do. I found the build-up to the final battle to be dragging on a bit, and I was kind of ready for the film to conclude. As well as I felt that some characters weren't utilised to their fullest potential, and it really could have used with some of them being a bit more fleshed out. But hey, that's just me. This is some badass action that any dude would have fun watching. And me, a random-ass dude, did have fun watching this badass action. The cast is all solid, with the ever-iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers giving some great performances. And Kevin Peter Hall playing the Predator did some great work. You can constantly feel the Predator is one step behind them, creating effective tension which leads to some gruesome kills. Being the beginning to this iconic franchise, I can clearly see why it resonates to so many people. I don't think it's absolutely incredible, but it's really great. It is really great. I'd give it high 8 out of 10. The best part is obviously the shots with the Predator or Arnold quoting the iconic lines. Sure, you're one ugly motherfucker is ever iconic. But we're slacking on when Blaine says, I ain't got time to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed.
That is some badass shit right there. Overall, a great classic 80s action horror film that now makes me want to watch not just the Alien films, but so many other films as well, like The Terminator. I mean, Arnie's in all of them, even the bad ones. Number 3, Alien vs. Predator. I don't care what you say. I loved this film. I had so much fun watching this movie. It's not a great film, but it's a great time. And that doesn't bother me at all. Sure, I would have liked an Alien vs. Predator that is on the same quality as as the first 2 Alien films and the first Predator, but what we got is some fun enough shit that I'm fine with. I never thought I'd be rooting for a Yautja and a human woman to kiss. I'm still waiting for that intergalactic humanoid species kiss, folks. When will we get that? And I'm sure many others are also dying to see that. Part of me wonders if my enjoyment of this has more to do with the alien side of the film, but I was rooting for the Predator side more, so I guess that cancels that out though. And what I mean is the alien side instead of the human side. And the human side is fine, but the alien side are obviously much more interesting. The human cast is mostly disposable, but the main ones are at least interesting and has some development that intrigues me, so it's not an entire waste of casting. A lot of fun action between the two species, and interesting enough world building, and plenty of sexual tensions between Scar and Lex. What more can you say? Overall, I did find this to be much more better or much more entertaining than the first Predator film, but to disarm any pitchforks that are raised in my head and any bonfires and anything, I do fully agree that this is not a better Predator film, filmmaking wise. This is not better than Predator. I just enjoyed it more. Number 2, Predator, Killer of Killers. And here we have the 2 films that was released this year. So after finding out that we were getting not 1 but 2 Predator films this year, I wanted to marathon all the Predator films, and I gotta say, I was very glad to, because after finishing Prey, I finally got to watch Killer of Killers, and oh boy, was this incredible. When marathoning all the films beforehand, I was not expecting to end that marathon with the one I enjoyed the most at the time. Even more so than Alien vs. Predator. Though thinking about it now, that's more of me enjoying not great films, whereas this is dead-ass amazing. Dan Trachtenberg, you son of a bitch. The animation is beautiful. Lower frame rates makes this film all the more stunning, as well as having the action flow more smoothly and satisfying to our human eye. The Predators always kick ass, and this one is no exception. I actually initially thought this was about one predator hunting some of the planet's most well-known and notorious killers. I mean, I was expecting a predator to fight and kill Genghis Khan, Ted Bundy, Jack the Ripper, Julius Caesar for some reason. Heck, I deadass expected a predator to face Hitler. I mean that. I thought it was going to be a predator going to fight Hitler or something. But instead of that awesomeness, we got cool characters that I'm sure they are not real people, but are based on real people from history. But they also had really interesting and compelling characterizations with some really heartfelt moments during their own storylines and their predator battles as well. I like that it was 3 stories mashed into one, which all of them merged into the end, where they all had to fight in a predator gladiator ring in order to become the killer of killers. I thought that was really interesting. I thought the Viking one was really good, and I really liked the way the whole thing was laid out. And again, the animation is beautiful and it has some beautiful snow during the first one. I really like the designs of all the characters and the designs of the predators as well. I thought they were cool. I mean, the Viking one was just this massive berserker predator, and it was just cool. It was cool as hell. The samurai one was really graceful and elegant, much like the predator in this one. I thought it was really cool. And the kills is just incredible. And the World War II fighter pilot one was just amazing as well. And all of it just mashes together into this one final epic battle with all of the characters, all the human characters, having to rely on each other in order to fight for their lives and to prove that they are much better than any predator trying to prove that they are not human at all, I guess. But yeah. And the ending, spoiler alert, the ending deadass gave us a cliffhanger. I was sucked in. An entire predator army is setting off to hunt the samurai and the World War II vet, whilst the Viking is captured. And then title card appeared, and the film ended. You don't give me an amazing film and end it on a fucking cliffhanger. Oh well. Great fucking movie regardless. Overall, great time, and I'm so glad that this film was the reason I marathoned all the Predator films. And I really, really loved this. But I loved one more film more. Number 1, Predator Badlands. Dan Trachtenberg, you have my full respect and trust for this franchise. And for the eventual sequels that will pan out. What a ride. I am so glad I got to watch this in theaters because this was a really great time. It's a novel concept putting the Yautja as the lead instead of the antagonist. And it goes into the semi-toxic nature of the species in that they are prey to none, friends to none, predator to all. It made me really invested in the main character, the Yautja Deck's arc, and the growth throughout as he finds meaning and friendship with another. Deck and the Synthozoid from, I'm pretty sure it's the Whaling Corporation, the Xenomorph aliens, that one, the Whaling Corporation, the Synthozoid Fia's relationship. It's so wished out, and the two have great chemistry, and I saw the bond that they have with them, forming their own clan in the end with Bud, a adorable monkey alien, a Kalisk. I like that the two were both betrayed by a family member in one way or another, and that turns into them creating a family of their own. The designs of the aliens and the planet Jenna is so creative, with some fascinating creature designs and traits that just makes this place feel so alive and intriguing to look at. You just want to explore more of the place and see what other kooky characters and biomes there are. The best praise I can give, which is not a hindrance to the rest of the film's quality, is the score. Sarah Schachner and Benjamin Wolfish did such a great job, and I wouldn't have been as impacted with this film had I not listened to this incredible score, and especially during a cinema screening. Is there anything wrong with this film? Yes, I think the lighting is a bit too flat in some cases, and it feels very saturated as well. It feels very dimmed down. It feels like very cool colors instead of warm colors. I do wish a lot of films nowadays play around with the lighting and the coloring, because I feel like if this film had a lot more expressive coloring instead of just the grays and all that, I would have been sucked in a lot more than I already was. But I think that's my only main issue. And aside from some small moments here and there, I definitely think this is just a great film overall. And Elle Fanning, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, Demetrius Schuster Koliomantangi did a great job as Fia and Deck. Overall, I think I can comfortably say that this is my favorite of the Predator films, and I can't wait till they inevitably make Alien vs. Predator 3. I'm hoping I'm not going to jinx myself. So, that's it. All 9 Predator films done. And I'm probably not going to be watching the Alien films anytime soon. So this was just a fun little thing to do. I wanted to do a lot more than just posting weekly film reviews and all of that. I mean, the only reason why I'm doing that is because it's the easiest, and I don't really have that much time right now. But I have time now, so it's the Christmas holidays, so I can do all that. And I just realized I was not wearing my Christmas hats at all today, so that's sad. I think I do have it here somewhere. Let me find it. I think it's in here. Yeah. Oh. Here it is. Let's wear this for the outro. Yeah, I'm surprised I forgot about that. I've been wearing my Christmas hat for the past few videos, and yet I wasn't wearing one for this one. It doesn't matter. I'm wearing one right now. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of today's video. So yeah, again, this is just something I wanted to do for a while. I knew I wanted to marathon all the Predator films, and before before watching Killer of Killers and Badlands, but I also thought about just doing videos that I like watching online, just ranking Predator films, I guess. See, that's cool. I thought all of these were either very enjoyable or not enjoyable at all. At all. Requiem is definitely not a good film. There was nothing I liked about it, but the rest there was something I liked about, even The Predator. And I truly cannot wait to see what Dan Trachtenberg and his team has cooking up for us with whatever Predator film is going to come out next. I'm hoping it's going to be something really good, and I'm hoping I'm not going to jinx myself and he's just going to make something terrible. Please don't make something terrible. Again, this channel is to give you a third, fourth, or fifth perspective, and I'm just here to talk about whatever I like to talk about. So yeah, that's the end of today's video, everyone. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment about what you thought about all these films and where you'd rank it, as well as any other film you'd like me to talk about. Yeah. And finally, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one.